Right, I believe we're live. Good afternoon, everybody. Is there anybody there? Yep, we've got 12 people there at the moment.
Oh, yeah.
How are you doing?
That's good.
Are you there, Simon?
Yeah, hi, everybody. Welcome to the live stream. Wednesday. It's now 6 p.m. here in Thailand.
Yeah, that was me. Echoing on the back there. Right. Okay, let's just see who's joined us so far, and then we'll talk. Okay, so hi to Sean Lester. Is it Lester or Lester? Lester.
Sean's keeping the score again. I can tell you now, Sean. It'll be five clean ones from me, and 5 normal ones from Pete. Sean was the one who kept on about how come I had all the normal questions and you had all the bar-related questions.
Yeah, we're going to be doing a question and answer session again later on. We'll just wait till we get a few more people in the stream. It's a bit of a shitty time of the day to get people to watch the stream, but we had 100 in last week, so hopefully more will come in. And we've got a guest in this week. We're going to start having guest streamers, as it were, and we've got somebody you might have heard of before. We'll be bringing him in about half an hour's time. Mr. Superstar, hi, how you doing? 7 p.m. in Perth, perfect timing. That's good.
Oh, that's good then.
Maybe we can build up an Australian audience. No, Mr. Hi, thanks for the second cartoon. Yeah, that's what I was going to. Well, I'll talk about that in a second. Hi, David from Australia. Yeah, well, so just do you want to hang on a bit, or do you want to start telling people about what's going on in Thailand at the moment?
No, since they mentioned.
Or should we talk a bit about your cartoon, or what do you fancy doing first?
Yeah, can do. Yeah. No, I mean, we're getting some good feedback on the cartoon, so hopefully you all enjoyed them, and the part 3 will be coming soon. Hopefully you enjoyed part 2 with Nat and Dave.
I've watched both of them at least 10 times because I just think they're so funny. How many hours do you, realistically, without exaggeration, that one you did yesterday was about 7.5 minutes long. How many hours does it take you to do that stream, that animation?
Yeah, well, I mean, quite a while, because I mean, I normally work on it for about most of the week, because you can. The animation and the timing is the most difficult bit, and then have to record the voices, obviously, do the recording, cut them down. So yeah, it takes a week, about a week to do, and about 5 or 6 hours a day. But as I get better, obviously that'll hopefully can tweak that a bit and get my time down a bit shorter. So yeah.
Because it's something new to the channel, I checked the numbers on it, and then when you did your first few videos, I mean, I think saying it in a nice way, they weren't the most sort of popular videos on the channel, but these have really taken off. I've noticed. I mean, you uploaded this one this morning, didn't you, for everyone? And it's you're up to nearly 2,000 already. So yeah, people seem to like these animations. I think they're really good. I do. I mean, I'm not just saying that because we're on here together.
I don't know if well, I know Peter did, but I'm sure there was a couple of guest appearances in the video. So obviously me and Peter are a couple of the characters in the background. We had one of the guys who gave us the one of the super chats last week, Matthew, and also David. You'll be in the next one. I've got you already. So I'll stick you in as a little cameo appearance somewhere. So look out for that one.
I thought that was clever. It's clever. Quick question. The little details, like some of them are really funny. Like when you have to watch it a few times to pick up the details, and it's like when you see Nat walking down Soy Cowboy and you see your eyes are focused on Tilak Bar, Shark, and her, then it changes scene. But if you watch it a few times, there's lots of little details, like you see that there's a dog barking at a cat, and rat on the first one, rat's running up a pole, and in Nat's room, the bug goes across the floor and up the wall. Do you add them in manually, or are they sort of part of that scene when you grab the scene?
No, yeah, add them in manually, because like you say, it's those little things. It's those little things we all remember, innit? I mean, it's like when I go down Sukhumvit, I always remember the rats, especially in Soy 23, because normally I go to the ATM, outside the 7-Eleven, which is just on opposite side of Cowboy, and that area there's always rats running around there, and they're just not scared of you. You walk to the ATM, and it's like in there, and you have to like step over a few rubbish bags, and they're not even bothered. And the same.
I hate them. They're cockroaches as well.
Well, that's hence the beetle, because I mean, cockroaches. That's one thing I always remember when I first came to Thailand. was, I hadn't seen cockroaches that big. I mean, they're massive. Well, they're massive here. They're like huge.
I'm going to my collar and in Pat Pong. Remember, I took my shirt off. I was running through Pat Pong like an idiot, waving my shirt around all the time. I was like, look at that twat. Yeah,
that's it. But I mean, coming from the UK back then, and you don't really have cockroaches in the UK, do you? I mean, it's like
they're little things. They're like that size. The ones in Thailand, they wear rucksacks, don't they?
The next thing will be the lizards, because obviously geckos everywhere, and then the big tokay, geckos, the big ones, the vicious ones.
Did I ever tell you about the snake when you used to live in Soy 38? When I was walking back, I thought it was a bit of rope. Did I tell you that story?
I'm not sure. Yeah, well,
really quickly. I was trying to do some websites. I was on the computer, I think, from 9 o'clock in the morning till about 11 o'clock at night, and I just fancied a walk. And if you remember where you used to live in Soy 38, halfway down, they knocked down about half a dozen townhouses. It was just left as vegetation. In Thailand, it grows up really fast, doesn't it?
Yeah,
and I was walking back from the 7-Eleven. And it's not that well lit, and I could see the road, and it looked like someone had put a piece of rope across the soy. And as I got close, a bloody snake, and I'm not exaggerating, its body was like that, bigger than my arm here, and it stretched like 90% across the soy. I just walked around it, but it's just something you wouldn't see where I live here.
Oh no! Well, it's the same way where I am in the Muban, which is the community village. Yeah, I mean, here a couple of years ago, same, and there was a big snake across the road, and I didn't realise. I thought it was just, like a road bump or something, but really that was a big one. We get the house next to me. We've got the big monitor lizards. They always come and visit the garden every couple of days, and then we get some of the small snakes. Not if you don't provoke them.
No, that's what I'm saying. They don't go up to kids and bite them or anything if they're not provoked.
No, but it did get one of my the neighbour's pet. They had a rabbit, a small rabbit, but it had one of them.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So
say a few hellos to everyone. Look, we've got a few there, and Keith Orrell from Quito, is it South Africa? Mr. Superstar. Yeah, not afraid of the one. Hey Damon, nice to see you. Hi Damon, one of our newest members. Obviously, I can't say thank you.
We actually text each other most nights now.
Oh yeah, you were saying about Damon, right? Is that the chap near Gatwick, right, or somewhere like that? I can't remember now.
Yeah. Okay. So
hi, Kevin.
If you've just joined us, welcome. We've got about 50 in at the moment. Still early days. We've got a guest coming onto the stream today. If you like I say, if you just joined us, I'll leave you in suspense. Somebody I've mentioned on numerous occasions, but we thought we'd like to start bringing some guests into the stream now. That'll be probably in about 15 minutes or so. So before we go on, do you want to tell us a little bit about what's going on in Thailand, Simon, at the moment? Because all the questions we'll get later is, do you think we'll be able to get back to Thailand? What's going on with the lockdowns? So why don't we get that out of the way so it's not a stream about the,
the situation. Yeah, I mean, the latest updates. I mean, they're still saying Phuket is due to open on July the 1st. So, it was yes, it will, no, it won't, and they're still aiming at having Phuket open for July the 1st. So that's one of the first updates. Quite a bad day, or the last couple of days have not been very good for new cases. They had a big spike in them, and I think Monday was around 9,200 cases, but that was mainly due to a couple of the prisons where they suddenly found quite a lot of new cases. So I suppose it doesn't reflect the sort of general public. There's still about 2,000 cases per day, sort of 1,500, 2,000. So that was there. What else was there? Oh, Pratam Thani area. They were saying there was a big spike there, and they put it down to one of these public toilets, and the turnstiles into the toilets wasn't being cleaned properly.
So that was hang around public toilets.
Well, that was the market. That was quite hot in the market area. But so that had a big spike because the market was quite busy, and although people were taking precautions with obviously masks and everything else, it still spread on the turnstile. The good news is they reckon, registration now for the vaccine, as they said, last week, is open for everybody. So foreigners are included in that, and you can register as an expat, I think from August, they said there. So that'll be good. What else was there? There's trying to, by the end of this month, end of May, they're trying to get 25 of the main vaccine centres open in Bangkok, because they want to try to aim to get everybody vaccinated, sort of around 5 million people by the end of, I think it was July. So it's aiming at 38 to 50,000 people a day. So that's obviously going to be good.
One of the questions I haven't asked you: have you had a vaccine?
No, not yet. We can't get one yet. I mean, we can't. It's not open to expats at the moment. August we can. A few of my Thai relations, they've had theirs, and a couple of the provinces now, Buriram and one of the other ones, I think it was Phuket actually, are making vaccines compulsory. So if you don't get vaccinated, then you face fines or up to 2 years in prison. So they're trying to push it. Everybody get vaccinated. And the good thing, restaurants are open again. So although it's only till 9 p.m, you can go out and dine in now, as long as they take all the normal precautions, and but no alcohol still. So you can buy it from 7-Eleven, you can drink at home, but you can't go out and have a meal with alcohol.
Right, let me just say.
So that's about it for the quick roundup of Thailand. So that's the top topics this week for the roundup.
Okay, so hi to Kevin Davis, been a subscriber for a while, first time sent message, not usually home at this great. All right, thanks very much, Kevin, for that. Andy Stubbs, hi. Mr. Mitch, hi. Scott D, hi from Chicago, 6 a.m, 7 p.m. in Australia, if you want to know. We just got somebody else from Australia. Who's that? Casting Matt DK. Curious who makes these amazing animated videos. Must be very expensive. I remember getting a price for a 30-second commercial animated. Well, actually, Simon makes the animations, and it takes him. How many hours did you say you did on that one last time?
Well, like I say, it takes me about a week to do them. So
yeah, but a week could be an hour a day, or
about 5 to 6 hours a day. And like I say, doing the recording for the voiceovers, and then normally I do the storyboard and the story, and then do the voiceovers, and then start matching up the time, and then putting in all the little details. But I'll give you a good price casting.
Oh, don't do that. The channel will suffer.
Only joking. Okay. But so how about England? What's going on there? What's happening
nothing
in the UK?
Much since since the last time we spoke, everything's open. Say nothing much. Everything's to open up. Well, they're not sure. They're saying that they're going to they're saying we're going to come out of full lockdown 27th of June, but now with this Indian variant, they're saying certain areas might be, they'll keep on temporary lockdown. But generally now you can go to the pubs are open now. You can go inside pubs. You can go inside restaurants. So it is easing off. We're doing quite well in the UK, but it's just this Indian variant. We'll see. We'll keep an eye on it.
Yeah. So I mean, what's I did see on the BBC, I had it on this morning, but I mean the pubs are back open again, right? I mean, is it like any restrictions, or they just open as normal? You can go eat, drink, everything, or not?
Well, the big difference is you can actually go inside and you can actually go inside and drink and eat now. Before they could only serve outside, so there were a lot of restrictions lifted recently.
Yeah. All right, okay. How about the schools and that? Are they open there?
Schools are all open. Yeah, all open.
Right, okay. Yeah, the same here. Then, I mean, a lot of the schools still aren't open. My son, he goes to uni, and they're not back at uni yet, so most of their classes are still online. But yeah. So, hi Derek. Hi on Tilt. Borat. Hi Borat. June is Boris's birthday. Oh, is it? So so what else you got to say then, Peter? Are you busy with something? I can see you doing something.
I was just looking at WhatsApp there. So 1 or 2 messages coming in. I don't know if you got any. Yeah. No, so who else? Mr. Mitch, hi to you. Derek Buckley, Simon Last, Borat. How are you? Oh, June is Borat's birthday. Yeah. Okay.
All right. Yeah. And I know what I was going to ask you about your story. I know you mentioned last time about. Is it Saturday's Story, one of the second ones that you were going to do?
God,
it's a bit of a car crash or something, or bad one?
Car crash. It's not a car crash story. It's a motorway pileup. Oh, it's dreadful. Yeah, some of these the stories. A lot of guys. I mean, I used to get comments saying, "Oh, all your stories end the same; they're negative." But if you're dating a bar girl, they are going to be negative, aren't they? Towards the end, most times. And no, this. Some people have written in and said, "Oh, we want more car crash stories." They just seem to like them. I don't know why. And I don't make them up. I can only tell them as they come in. But I've got one this Saturday. It's the second one, and I don't want to spoil it. But I mean, it's terrible what happened to this guy. He actually had a Thai wife, and I can't really tell you anything without giving it away. Just watch it. It's the second story. It's dreadful. I mean, I don't know what else to say without giving it away. You'll have to wait till Saturday. Unless you remember and you'll have watched it already.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, like you say, a lot of the stories they always end not great. But one day there will be a story with a nice happy ending, and they all lived happily ever after.
There is one or two on there now.
Yeah.
Let me just. Someone's plaguing me with messages.
All right. Yeah. Hi to Dave Andrew. That was a good comment there. I saw that today. Yeah, the Thailand have trained these 6 dogs now that they can actually smell if someone's infected from human sweat, and they reckon they're 95% effective. Apparently, I think it was in the Bangkok Post or one of them today. So that was quite interesting.
Okay, David. How do you pronounce that? I know it's not us who have problems pronouncing these names because I've watched other YouTube vloggers and they have the same problems. It's David San. You want to have a go at that? What is it? Santa
Maggio. Hi, champs.
Hi to Till again.
Just to listen to us. Oh, that's good. So, where are you, David?
Right. Okay. So, nearly 70 in the stream now. It's gathering pace slowly. So, we've got a guest for you today. I think we'll bring our guest in, shall we, Simon?
Oh yeah, of course, yeah.
Okay. So, do you remember? What's that?
No, go on, carry on.
A bit of a delay because you're in Thailand, I'm in the UK. We're not interrupting each other really. Do you remember on one of my own streams? I do a stream every other Saturday for a couple of hours, and I mentioned a channel. I said, there's a channel out there. It's really, really underrated, and I got accused of promoting it for money, and I don't get money for it. I just, as a fellow YouTube watcher, as you can say. I mean, I came across this channel by accident. I'm just giving them a build up before I bring him in. I came across this channel by accident and I watched his content. I thought, why has he got a lot more subscribers? I mean, his videos are so accurate, they're so well edited, they're so interesting. And I introduced his videos. A lot of people did go over and subscribe to his chat, but it's a channel called Bangkok Pat. And I'd never met Pat before that. And I managed to contact him by messaging. And we've got him here in the stream. So I'm going to bring him in now. And if you want to ask him anything, you can. But we're just going to have a chat. And let's say hello to Pat. How are you, Pat?
Yeah, hi, Peter. Hi, Wayne. Hope you're well.
Simon, you look a bit nervous there. First of all, you shouldn't be.
Sorry, I'm reading something. I'm reading something else here. Sorry. Yeah, I am nervous. I am very nervous. Don't really. I've never been a guest on a stream. Not like this anyway. I've been on an outdoor thing, but no, it's a pleasure.
It actually gets easier as you go along. I did 18 months. I had a YouTube channel for 18 months before I did my first stream, and people kept writing in to me and on the comments on videos and saying, why don't you do a stream? Everybody else does a stream. And I used to make up excuses, but really I was terrified of doing them. And even Trevor from Buzzing Patio, one of his early ones, he said the same thing. He said he was terrified because when you make a video, you got time, you think, oh, I don't like that, I'll edit that out. But when you're live, you fart in front of the camera and everybody hears it. I mean, it's simple as that, isn't it? So
yeah. Sorry, Simon. Someone called Wayne has actually just commented on one of my videos. That's why, and I was typing away there. So right,
no worries. But yeah, I mean, like you say, I mean, I remember when I'd done my first stream, and even now I still get nervous. That's why, at least when you got 2 or 3 of you, it's a lot less pressure, less nerve wracking for me anyway.
Yeah. You're like Simon. You live full time in Bangkok, right, Pat?
Yeah, I do. Yeah,
and I believe you did teaching, or
yeah, I do teaching sometimes. I teach hospitality, not English. I teach something called BTEC, hospitality. Right. It's a British thing. But the problem with that is hospitality is not a big subject with the young people in Thailand, especially not this term. So I'm not doing it. So I will most likely be going to teach English somewhere, probably in a school or a college.
Yeah, when you say hospitality is not big, do you just mean sort of young people aren't getting into it now, or because for me I see like a few places the Technic College on Saturn and Mahadol, they have big hospitality programs. Is it?
Yeah. It's like cabin crew, hotel, food and beverage stuff. Kids who want to go and work abroad in Dubai, for example, or Australia, they want a certificate that's valid to get them a job. And then they might go there for 6 months, do it, and then if they like it, they'll do a degree or something. But they get a BTEC, which is accepted in most places in the world. And of course, in Thailand, everything you got to have a degree to do everything basically. Even if you want to sweep the floor outside, you need a degree, don't you? It's quite ridiculous, but you know that's the way it is. Hospitality is not big now because of COVID, isn't it?
Sure.
I remember years ago, couldn't you go for 2 years as a teacher with minimal qualifications? I mean, the money was terrible, but I'm talking about the 90s. It was about 10,000 baht a month, but you could actually go and teach on minimal qualifications for a couple of years. Then you had to get certified. Have they tightened all that up now then?
As far as I know, you can't do that. You need a minimum of a TEFL certificate, TEFL, teaching English, and ideally you should have a degree. But if you've had bags of experience, usually it's okay. The degree is usually for the formality of a work permit. I mean, there's so many teachers I know don't have degrees.
That's it.
Yeah,
I know the same. I know quite a few people. Same. Obviously, we both in Bangkok, but yeah, a lot of teachers I know don't have a degree, and they've landed, fairly decent jobs. But like I say, in the last couple of years, I think they tightened up a lot more, and more and more people want them now, just because there's so many teachers available. I don't know if you find the same, but yeah.
There is. The thing is, it depends who you work for. If you're working for the government school, for example, they will be quite blind to it and say, no, you got to have a degree. Nothing. No, we're not going to budge on it. Whereas if you work for a company that's maybe more international orientated, they know the value of experience. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. They will know the value of someone without looking at what's written on their resume. They will actually meet the person first and say, right, okay, we want you, rather than just completely ignoring your resume because it doesn't have a degree on it.
That's it.
The Irish
funny.
guy,
go on, Pete.
Yeah, sorry, a bit of a delay there. The Irish guy, Dave, who's a teacher, Bangkok Diaries, I think it is. I was talking to him once, and he said he used to go knocking on doors to find a teaching job because it used to be really hard. And he said the job he's got, I think it's a job he's got at the moment. He actually went to a school and he said, look, I'm a teacher. Do you need any teachers? And they just took him down a corridor, put him in a class, cold turkey, and said, right, teach, and stood on the back wall watching him. And he went into panic mode, but he got all the kids to start singing The Wheels on the Bus Go Round and Round, and they all joined in. And he got the job, fantastic. But I couldn't have done that. I would have frozen on the spot. Is that a true story? Do you know?
That can happen. That does happen. Yeah. A lot of times, if you apply for a job, they want a demonstration lesson, and you might have to do a 20-minute class to whoever's there, basically. It might be the cleaner and a couple of shy secretaries. When I first was looking for teaching jobs in 2002, there wasn't anything really advertised on the internet, so you had to walk around Bangkok on foot, going to language schools and basically knocking on doors. And then as you got jobs, someone always knew someone. It was word of mouth. It was a lot. But I think anyone teaching who's coming to Thailand now is very lucky with with the resources available to find work. That's for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Some good websites now. But
yeah, let's talk a little bit about your channel then, Pat. So what made you decide to... I mean, obviously you're a teacher, you live full time in Bangkok. What was a conscious decision for you, and you thought, oh, I'll go and make a YouTube channel about Thailand? Was it because you live there and you wanted to offer information, or it's a hobby, or what was the reason?
It was good. I was gonna be. I've always been since I've. How can I say this? When I was in school in London growing up, we did a history project in my area where I grew up, and since then, I've always been crazy about history. And I always had it in mind at some point to do a video. There's a guy who's got a channel on YouTube, a British guy, more transport orientated, called Jeff Marshall, and I love his channel. And I thought I want to do a channel like his. And so Lard Proud, this area, I've since on and off for since I first came here 20 years ago. I've always lived in this area, and I thought I'll have a walk around here. I'll look up some history, see what's around. I'll just do it for fun. And I put it took me months to make the first video. I had no camera experience or anything. I bought the camera off Facebook Marketplace and did the video eventually. And then I put it out. I thought I'll just see what happens. And then a couple of days later, I thought, oh wow, 700 people have watched this, and I looked in the analytics. I thought, oh right, it's a guy called Stickboy has shared it.
Yeah, we all know him.
So I thought I'll write him an email, say thanks and everything. And he said, yeah, the video was great, it was different and everything. And then another guy called Phil, he runs ajan.com. It's the only teaching website in Thailand that has all the information, and they advertise all the latest jobs. And I've known him on and off for 20 years since I first came here, and he shared it as well. So I said to them, I said, look, I'm old school. I will happily put your banners at the beginning of all my videos. That's my way of showing gratitude. So they don't pay me or anything for it, and in return, they will share the videos, and that has given me a leg up. So they're not sponsoring me or nothing. It's just I think it's nice.
And you were saying,
I think they're good. I like the videos.
Yeah, they're very good. Yeah, but you were saying you wanted to reduce the amount of time for the videos and do more because obviously you're busy teaching and everything. You don't have the time. Because I think people just don't realize how much time you have to put into YouTube if you're doing it seriously, like we do. And those videos you make, I can see there's so much editing going into them, and they must take a good couple of days to actually edit, let alone the filming.
Well, that's the problem. That's the hole I've dug myself, and the editing takes ages and ages. And then for the last few videos, I think the first long one I made deliberately longer was the Nana video. And that was only supposed to be a quick 10-minute guide to Nana. And then I started looking around Soy Zero, and I thought, oh, I remember this place. So I thought, well, if I'm going to... Yeah, it was a dump. Yeah. I thought, well, if I'm going to talk about Soy Zero, a nightlife area, a bar area, I'm going to have to include all the other bar areas in Nana. Yeah. So it's going to be all or nothing. So I thought, I'm going to find every single old bar area from Nana, and look what's there now, find some old pictures and video, and that's how that came about. So there's nowhere I left out, and that clocked in at 35 minutes. But generally, the last few videos were, a couple of them were long when they shouldn't have been that long. And the thing is, with the YouTube algorithm, they want a fast turnover of videos, and then they will start promoting you more, pushing your videos more. And so I'm starting the expat life videos as well. And the first one was Pete's interview. So I'm going to try and get one every week instead of one every 2 weeks.
Well, I for 18 months, I mean, I generally put one up a week. That was it. And when I was new, I got carried away, and sometimes 5 in a week. But that can actually hurt you. But currently, we do about 2 a week. My stories go up on a Saturday, and Simon's animation now goes up on a Wednesday. And yeah, they seem to work, and we seem to be getting the numbers, not big numbers, but we're doing okay. So, because you said you were going to do some shorter clips, weren't you?
Yeah, I've done Pete's story. Well, that's still clocked in at 15 minutes. When you do your videos, do you aim for a set length for them?
No,
or?
I know now. The stories, I know how long they're going to be, because what happens when people send them in to me, they send me emails. I can't just take it from the email, because I get people from Switzerland, Germany. You know, English is not their number one language, so I have to rewrite it. So how I get the story, what they're telling me, but a lot of the words are not right. So what I've got to do is all the stories that I'm going to use, I don't even know how many stories. Sometimes it's 2, 3, 4. But the reason I know they're all about the same length is because when I put them into a Word document, I font them up to Arial 14. I put breaks in them so they're blocks easy to read, and I know when they get to about 10 pages, that's about half an hour, 25 minutes, half an hour. By the time I put the exit video, music video on there and everything, they're generally between sort of 25 and 35 minutes, and I know that just from the number of pages in a Word document.
Yeah, I think that's it. It's trying to get that right formula in it to keep the video short enough but interesting enough and have all the information. But like you say, I mean, the good thing is, you know, on the YouTube interface, at least when you look at your analytics, you can normally see how long people watch. And I mean, it's quite interesting to see when people, you know, end up, you know, although you've got a 30-minute video, you know, you'll see people just, you know, leave after 10 minutes or whatever. But it leaves you know, obviously people's attention span nowadays is very short, and like you said, they want all the information really quick and then move on to something else. But yeah, information.
Sorry, no, I looked at a lot of different vloggers and formats, and there's a lot of things I didn't want to do. For example, I never asked people to subscribe in like in the first minute, because I think that sets a very high standard. Well, if I watch a video and I haven't got the information I want from the video yet, and the guy starts saying, "Oh, please like and subscribe," it makes me think, well, this better be bloody good. And I will like and subscribe. I think it puts unnecessary pressure. And if someone likes it, they will like it anyway. Subscribe.
Yeah. You guys out there, if you've just joined us, sorry, I had to interrupt there because it's really hard.
Sorry,
just a quick one. If anybody's in the stream, this is Bangkok Pat from his own channel. If you want to ask him anything, please feel free to come into the chat. Pat will be here for another 5-10 minutes or something, and then we'll ask him. You can ask him what you want to, but I'll just say hello to a few people who've joined us. I don't want to miss anybody out. So hi to Mazza. Hi, good to see you guys. Will Smith, good afternoon, guys. Dave Andrew. Dave worked in an Islamic school for 3 years. He's doing online teaching. Okay, from Ahmet, hi from Turkey. John McGriff, is it? Can Simon change his background? It's hard on the eyes. You did have a green screen for a while, didn't you, Simon? I think you're going to have another one.
Sorry about that, John. But yeah, I will have my green screen back on soon, and then I'll put a background. But this is actually the studio. It's actually the soundproofing walls. I'm in a padded cell.
Part 2 was good on the cartoon. Shin, hi Peter. Sorry I'm late. There's no problem. Okay, Glenn, hi. Hello,
Franco.
Peter. Simon. Hello, Peter. Simon. Awesome to see Pat. Shin Rana. Hi, Bangkok. Pat. Shin. Okay, Franco De Rosa. I'm here. Hi, Franco. Nice to see you. So if you just joined us, Franco, this is Pat from Bangkok. Pat, he's our guest. And if you've just joined us, we're planning to try and bring more guests to the stream every week, just to make it a little bit more interesting. So,
I did have. What I was going to ask Pat as well is, I mean, when you're planning your videos, do you like pick an area and say, right, I'm going to go do that this month or this week, and then do your research, or do you just sort of depends where you are? How do you plan them?
I've got all these areas in mind all the time, and sometimes I think, should I stick to like the mainstream areas, and then I'll see videos online, and I think, well, someone's already walked around that. But then I think, well, someone's done a video of that area, but they've only just walked around with a camera, and there's no talk, there's no speaking or anything. And because there's a lot of those videos that is just a silent video with someone walking around. And some of them are very popular, but I think some of them are bloody boring. And
Yeah.
I think
What's your top three favorite YouTubers?
Huh?
Me.
Sorry, you changed.
Yeah.
Sorry, you threw me. Then Pete, you changed subject.
Sorry, I thought you
We're in the
finished.
middle of a conversation.
All right, sorry, carry on. I thought you'd finished. Carry on.
No. Pat was saying about his areas and that. Sorry.
All right,
the areas. Someone's asking me to go to Meanbury. There's up and coming areas. Meanbury's going to be a huge condo and transport hub in the next 2-3 years. I'm trying to balance it between expat areas, like on Nut. I need to have a good in-depth look around on Nut. There's a lot of expats there. I just basically, I've got a soy cowboy history video planned.
I think that's what I find interesting is like from your videos, and I'm sure a lot of the other people who follow you find the same. Is that, like you say, you always see videos of the popular areas and someone just walking them, but you don't see people actually explaining the the history of them and all. And for me, I think that's the fascinating thing about Bangkok, especially, is when you go down a lot of these side streets, you'll notice stuff that you never ever realized was there. I mean, and there's so much interesting stuff, and I think that's the same. That's why I like your videos. I think they're really, that's what I enjoy about it.
I did. I was looking around a couple of videos, and there was one guy went to the old Elephant Building, and I thought, oh, this is brilliant. And I thought, oh, he's going to talk about some of the history, maybe. But all he said was, oh, look, there's a Starbucks in here. And I thought, is that it? So there's so much begging. That's the thing. And Sorry, Cowboy. Washington Square, I thought would be interesting. Because I think from what I've gathered, a lot of the people I'm originally aiming for was expats or people who have lived in Bangkok and know Bangkok. Not really for tourists who are thinking of coming because the areas are not familiar.
I think that's what you see. A lot of the people because you'll see a lot of the people who obviously watch your channel, watch us, they watch the other Thailand YouTubers. And like you say, a lot of our viewers are people who know Bangkok fairly well, who have been here many years or know the areas. And it's really interesting when you see some of the older areas that have now disappeared. You just mentioned Washington Square. I mean, that was always a famous area that I think loads of people remember, but obviously the newer people to Bangkok won't even know what it is, but that was famous for a long time.
I can see a question here. It says, does Pat do car crash love stories? It's funny you say that. I'm doing a expat mental health video, and there will be some stories like that in it.
It's a hot topic at the moment, mental health. I see Prince William or Prince Harry? Was it Prince Harry? One of the
Harry,
who came out, and I mean, he's a big advocate for mental health.
The problem is with in the UK press, for example, they're sort of blowing it a bit out of proportion. Nowadays, you could have a disagreement with someone, and someone will say, "Oh, you got a mental health problem." Well, no, I just disagreed with you, and so I think they're sort of diluting the seriousness of mental health, and it is an issue with people with expats and people who come to Thailand. They get caught up in stuff, and it's a very addictive place. And I won't go into it, but you've seen your stories, Pete. Say a great deal about.
Well, they're not really my stories, but because people send them to me. But it's really weird because I've had this guy in America contact me, and I'm going to bring him in. It's a funny time. There's an 11-hour time difference between you and Simon and this guy in America. So unfortunately, I can't bring anybody in. But I'm going to bring this guy in as a kind of one-off special because he's got something. He runs his business is a worldwide motorcycle business. They sell gloves and helmets and things. But he runs some kind of a charity, and from what I can gather, it's not about. He says it's a small problem in Thailand, but it's bigger in places like Mexico and Philippines, Indonesia. But he runs a charity charity for people for guys who have been ripped off on the like visa scams and all the stories that you hear on our channel. He runs some sort of a charity. So I'm going to bring him in, and he's going to discuss what they do, because apparently, there's like a girl will go with some guy to America to get the visa, and when they separate, she'll get somebody to put some bruises on her face, and when it goes to court, she gets to keep the pass. It's really complicated stuff, but all these stories that get sent in, even me, when I first read them, I'm amazed. You must have come across things that have happened to guys who have gone to Thailand, they've fallen in love with the wrong girl, and you've witnessed them lose everything. We've all witnessed it. I just hear about it more because people send me their stories. And the second story on Saturday is it's a horror show.
I'm actually half Thai. My mum's Thai. My dad's English.
I did ask.
Yeah, and I do remember, even from when I was a teenager, a friend of my dad's was having all this problem, and he was visiting that. He was coming round every day, moaning about his wife and everything. And I remember my dad saying to me at the time, he said, "Don't you ever do that?" And I said, "What?" He said, "Don't ever marry the wrong girl in a foreign country, because look at the state of him." And I worked in a Thai restaurant in London for a few years. And there was a lot of couples, like Farang Thai couples coming in and stuff. And so I heard a mix, and you get to hear stories and stuff, and horror stories, and there's also as many, great stories as well, happy ending stories. But the thing with the mental health thing, I think with the expats, I mean, there's a sort of an undertone of competition between expats. You know what I mean? It's like you walk around in Bangkok. You walk around certain shopping malls in Bangkok. You'll see expats, and I would bet a lot of them are looking at each other, mentally profiling each other, and thinking, "Oh, I wonder, where did he meet his girlfriend?" Or So there's a lot of competition, and a lot from the Thai side. A lot of 20 years ago, a lot was expected from a Falang. We're all rich. We never had money problems. How can we have personal mental health problems, but we got all this money? So all these things have sort of come together, and I thought I will try and put a video together on this and see.
The reason I asked. Now, the reason I asked you that, Pat, is because I don't know if you know this, but years ago, and I'm talking a lot of years ago, when Simon lived in the UK, we actually owned a Thai restaurant, and Simon will tell you better than me, because I was kind of like a silent partner. Simon and his wife, who's Thai, ran it. But there was a Thai girl. She used to come in and ask you to read letters or something, or she wanted to just sleep in the staff house. She was having hassle with her husband, right?
Yeah.
What was that one again?
Oh, that was classics. Well, I mean, there was a lot of different things, but yeah, I mean, you get a lot of couples who end up back in the UK or America or wherever. But this particular guy, he'd met a girl, Thailand, gave her the story that I've got a big house back in the UK, got car, everything else, and in the end, he brought her back here. But then when he brought her back, it wasn't anywhere that she expected. It was a small house in a tiny village in the middle of nowhere, and his car was, some beat up old banger. But but when they were courting, he'd go to Thailand, then he'd come back to the UK, and she'd be there, and she'd send him letters, emails, and texts, and he'd come into the restaurant, and we'd have to translate for him, and then translate back. But some of the funny things. There was going backwards and forwards. But,
I had a couple of guys who would come in who were writing to Thai girls. I remember one particular guy, a French guy, and he was so emotional. He used to come in like during lunchtime when we weren't busy, and he used to sit there. I used to sit with him writing these letters, and he was a couple of times, he was hysterical. He was so in love with her, and they were just exchanging emails back then. There was no chat or anything. Emails and text messages, and
the typical love is blind.
It's culture, isn't it? It's a mix of cultures. It either works or it doesn't. But but again, there's as many success stories as there is.
Yeah. I mean, how do you find it? I mean, I know earlier you said you're half Thai, half. When people probably look at you, do they assume you're just an expat, and do you find a lot of issues there? The reason I ask is, obviously my kids are, and a lot of our viewers, they look krung or they got children, and it's interesting how they get treated by Thais.
I don't know. My age means I'm of quite an early generation of half Thai, and when I first started coming to Thailand, it was like a potluck.
Yeah.
I wouldn't tell a certain class of Thai person that my mum was Thai because there's assumptions. Same as I wouldn't tell certain expats I was half Thai because, again, people make assumptions that your mum's a whore. And that's I don't really care about that anymore. I was quite conscious about it when I was younger, but some Thais think I'm 100% Thai. Some will never think I'm Thai in a million years. Same as expats, So, and with my accent as well. I mean, I'm a million miles from being Thai. I was brought up in London. I grew up and went to school in London, and I didn't first come to Thailand till I was, till I was 22. I never got around to it because my mum died when I was young, so I stopped being Thai after my mum died. All of a sudden I couldn't speak it anymore. I couldn't understand it anymore. I became a teenager, and I wasn't interested in my heritage, till I got older in the 90s. I thought I should.
Right. That's interesting. And do you speak Thai now? Can you have you picked it up again now you've come back and got sort of second nature again or not?
It's okay. It could always be better. I suffer from confidence issues sometimes. I know what to say in my head. And if I try and say it and I get it wrong, I'm embarrassed to repeat it in case.
I'm surprised.
I think that's something. I think it's something actually that there's probably quite common with half Thai Farang children, because I mean my kids were the same. I mean they were born in Thailand. They could speak Thai when they were young. Then we moved them to the UK and they went to school there for a while and they completely forgot Thai. And then when they came back to Thailand, where they are now, they're now in their 20s, and they're the same. The two eldest ones really reluctant to speak Thai. They can understand it when someone speaks to them, but like you say, in their head they know what to say, but they're afraid to get it wrong, or they're not 100%. But my youngest one, who's now 17, he came back when he was still about 10, 11, and he really picked it up. So he's, out of all of them, he's the most fluent. But the other two, the same. They have the same sort of feelings, I think, about speaking Thai. So it's interesting. I think a lot of people in the same boat.
Yeah. I'm glad to hear that. Yeah.
Hell of a delay here, isn't there? Yeah. You know what you were saying about the assumptions, and because you're half Thai and your mother was Thai and your father was English, and people automatically thought your mother was a bad girl. We had the same problem. My wife's from South Korea. Apparently it's changed a bit now, but when I first met her there in '89, we had exactly the same problem. We used to get so much hassle that if I went out with my now wife to a bar in South Korea, we get people stare at us and kind of give her that look like like she's a whore because she's with me. And one of the best places in the world to have a mixed relationship, as you know, it's in the UK because it's just so accepting of all of this. I've got obviously two mixed race children here. They're half Korean, two girls half Korean, half English, and they haven't suffered anything whatsoever during their schooling. Now they're one's in university, one's at work. They've never come across any racism here in the UK. That's one very good thing about the UK.
Maybe. I mean, we don't want to start a big argument about it. I found that the opposite, actually. I found that in the UK we have more problems. But anyway, I suppose it depends.
Could it be the area where you live, though?
Well, yeah, I'm sure it is. But I mean, I found a lot more in the UK than than where we are now. But yeah, anyway,
Question for Pat
that's
there.
a bad topic to get into.
One last thing on that. I remember when I first came to Thailand and started getting used to the culture, I'd never heard so many. There were so many questions like, "Where did your mum meet your dad?" And I always used to think, why are people so interested in this? And it took a while before I sort of fathomed out why. And people are just so snobby sometimes. Okay. My screen went blank for a second there.
I did wonder. I see you playing with all the cables there. You go into panic mode when that happens, don't you?
I know. There was a question there. Am I going to do the vlog outside Bangkok? Definitely. Definitely. I've Pattaya and Phuket, but they're going to be huge videos, especially Pattaya. When I first went to Pattaya in 2000, it was a lovely little town, and it was great. The nightlife was fun. It was a bargain. And then I'd say the last fun I had in Pattaya was around 2006. And then after that,
sorry to interrupt. What year did you first go to Pattaya?
The end of 2000.
Oh, that was your first time. The end of 2000.
Yeah. It was great. It was fantastic.
You should have seen it in 91, 92.
Yeah, I bet it was pretty wild.
It just wasn't as commercialized. It was Thais who'd set up cheesy bars. A lot of girls working there, a lot of foreigners, but it was a kind of place you didn't boast about going to, if you know what I mean.
Yeah,
it wasn't.
It's definitely changed a lot now.
I mean,
everywhere is just getting more and more obviously commercial now, isn't it? I mean, I remember a lot of the bars in, like you say, Pattaya and also Bangkok. They were the old styles, sticky carpets, all the rest of it. Now they've got huge amounts of money invested in sound, light, and
they're almost like American strip clubs, aren't they?
Yeah. So it's changing a lot for sure.
I mean, when I remember Pattaya in '92, when you went to Walker Street, there was no tourist police at the end. There was a documentary that said they get something like 10,000 people a night walk, or through a 24-hour period, walk down Walker Street. I mean, when I was there in '92, there was a few hundred. There wasn't thousands. You didn't have Chinese tour groups with flags walking down Walker Street. You didn't have. I mean, it was mostly guys going out for fun, and there wasn't a go-go bar at all on Walker Street when I first went there. Not a single go-go bar. There's a soy that comes off Walker Street. They had a few there, but they were pretty cheesy kind of go-go bars, and it was just totally different.
Yeah, no, that's right.
I learned something from one of your videos, Pat, which I didn't know. That one you did about Washington Square. Well, I lived on Soy 22, so Washington Square's at the back, isn't it? 22, that sort of way. They've knocked it down and turned it into a coach park now. There wasn't even a Holiday Inn back then. But where the video, you were saying that the CIA, is it CIA? I can't get it out. CIA. They used to drink there. They had their favorite bars there, and I didn't know that, and I used to live there.
Yeah, I did some deep research for that. There was always stories from. Well, even when I used to go to Washington Square a long time ago, there was always these stories of the boiler room guys and CIA and ex-special forces and stuff.
I'd definitely make it very interesting. All the stories about the CIA and everything else, and
but with Pattaya, I mean, the place is so big now. I think when the internet kicked in, Pattaya stopped becoming everyone's secret paradise, didn't it? It stopped becoming a secret paradise.
The other big change I've seen is there's a lot more younger guys go there now. When I first went to Pattaya, most of the guys who were there, they were expats working in Bangkok, and they'd head down to Pattaya for the weekend, or they were guys from Europe and America who, they're getting on a bit, but they came out to Pattaya. But you didn't have sort of gangs of 24-year-old, 25-year-olds. Like you say, because of the internet, I mean, it's like Disneyland, isn't it? I mean, it's like Disneyland. It's just over commercialized now.
Yeah, I remember about 2004. 2005, there was a group of squaddies that I knew from London came over, and I hadn't been there for about a year.
Mhm.
And I remember going there and I'm thinking, right, the British lager lout has arrived in Pattaya. I remember thinking that.
Flag on the back, walking down the street.
Yeah.
Well, that's where sort of Pattaya grew from, wasn't it? I mean, it was mainly a lot of the ships coming into Pattaya and around that area, and then a lot of the servicemen all going out and partying on their R&R, right?
Yeah, there was always that story of a friend of my dad's friend. No, my friend's dad was in the Navy, and he told me a story that the British Navy were banned from Pattaya.
Really?
For quite a few years, yeah.
Really? Why?
They used to
Too
raise
rowdy?
hell. They too rowdy, yeah.
Yeah.
But that might
Brits.
just be that might be just be a story, but I can believe it.
I believed it. I worked in a seaside town in Norway for a while, and we used to get all the navies come in, and the best behaved Navy personnel were the Americans, and the worst behaved ones were the British. You know, really. So I believed it.
Yeah, that's it. Well,
Okay, so it's very interesting talking to you today, Pat. Thanks for coming on our stream. If there's anybody else out there who wants to ask Pat a story, a question. So if you don't know Pat, Bangkok Pat, that's his channel. Somebody did say, what's his channel called? I'll put that up again. He makes some great videos, and I think it's a very underrated YouTube channel. I hope you'll get a few more subscribers after today, Pat.
Yeah, thanks. And if anyone's got suggestions for locations, I'm open to, any. I don't, like I say, I don't plan in advance. I've got locations in mind, but there's always ones that pop up, and then someone will say, what about this area, that area? Klong San part of Bangkok. I didn't realise there was that much in it. It was only going to be 10 minutes, and then I went there and I realised all these famous places were in that area. Turned out to be 26 minutes. Probably one of the most fun ones I've done. I love all that
area, Klong San, and
actually on screen for anybody who wants to answer that one.
It's a great.
The boiler rooms, yeah. What are boiler rooms? Oh wow, that's a whole great topic on its own. The boiler rooms.
Briefly, then.
Wall Street.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Bangkok especially was famous for the boiler rooms. It's typical. As you said, like the Wolf of Wall Street, people, operating call centers and just calling people, mainly focusing on Australia, the UK, and other nationalities, but offering them shares, in great companies that are going to make loads of money, getting them to invest for the first one or two, and then suddenly they'll get, today you've got to invest in a really big one. You need to put as much in this as you can. And of course, these people trusted them, put a lot of money in, and then that's it, all disappeared. And they were just scamming people out of a lot of money. And there's actually a couple of documentaries. There was, there was some good documentaries of a guy who actually came over here and tried to track him down, and he got scammed out of quite a lot of money in Australia. So
Australian guy, wasn't he?
Yeah, but quite interesting. But
yeah. I just saw a comment there that
I'll put it back up.
if someone who doesn't know you is small enough to make assumptions about you or wife, mother, then that's how I ended up thinking. That's exactly what came into my mind.
Yeah.
I thought, why should I care? Yeah.
I mean, in the end, what made you actually decide to live full time in Thailand then, as opposed to the UK? I mean, I could answer that for myself. It's obviously the UK's crap. But what actually, what made you have the decision to actually stay? Was it the job, or you just like the country, or the weather?
The company I was working for regularly in the hospitality thing. That's another long story. The owner retired. So I was coming back to Bangkok on and off, and then one day I just thought, I can't be bothered. Actually, I'll tell you the truth. what it was, I just got so disillusioned. There was Brexit and everything happening. But originally, 20 years ago, it was because after 9/11, people were coming out with all this stories about we need to do conspiracies. I just got sick of hearing it, and Thailand was one place I could get away from all that shit. And,
yeah, definitely.
And,
That's it. Different world.
And then I discovered, my Thai side and a whole different side of family, and they're just sort of coming from there.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
That's good. Excellent.
Yeah, I hope to be able to join you two one day and live full time out there. I can't at the moment. I've got too many commitments in the UK. I try and spend as much time as I can out there, but obviously I still work part time. I've got some property that I rent out, and I've got a daughter who goes to university. The other one's left home now, so a few more years, I think. But I think I think Hua Hin is going to be the place for me. I like Hua Hin.
Oh yeah.
That's where I'm going to
Have you
end
been
up
down there?
eventually. I think I'll head to Hua Hin eventually.
It
It's
was
kind of like Patty used to be.
yeah. I was there. I've been there a few times. It's a great place. I went in November. It was deserted, and I thought, what a shame.
Everywhere.
But then I've been there when it's been full of Chinese tourists, and I thought, what a shame. It's completely ruined it. But yeah, it's a great place. Somewhere between Cha'am and Hua Hin.
Cha'am's very nice as well.
It's a favourite place of mine. People think it's weird because there's nothing there, but that's probably one of the reasons why.
Probably why you like it. The beach is great, isn't it?
Cha'am, the beach is great up the south end.
Yeah.
It's lovely. Yeah.
Okay, well, it's been great having you on the channel today, Pat. We've got a load more to do yet, or questions and answers and all sorts. But yeah, I mean, you haven't had any negativity today. I mean, I'm just going through the comments, and most people who have seen your videos are giving you a thumbs up. There's some people on here today. Darren Drew said, I will subscribe to Pat's channel. I know there was a few in there. What's this one? Hi, gents, late in the stream. What's Pat's channel's called? So I've already mentioned that. It's simply called Bangkok Pat. If you go to YouTube and type in Bangkok Pat, you'll come to his. Let me see if I can find your. I did prepare it. Yeah, you'll have a look at some of his videos. They're very informative. That's a word. I couldn't get the word out. They're very informative. But I wish you all the best of luck with your channel, Pat. It's been great having you on here today. And if you want to review this, once the stream finishes, it does stay on the channel, on YouTube channel as a video. So it doesn't get, once we finish, it stays on there. So if you want to watch yourself and see how you came across, but I'm sure you feel a lot more relaxed now to the first sort of couple of minutes when you came in.
I do.
Yes,
I appreciate you asking me, and I'm
our pleasure.
Really, it's been great, and so thanks.
And we look forward to watch more videos as well.
Yeah, we look forward to. I'm subscribed to you, by the way.
Yes,
so every time you make a video, I scrutinize it now. I enjoy them. I do what I do. You know what? I get really just quickly before you go. I get really fed up of the videos where guys are walking up Soi 4 and they're like, "This bar, it used to be so great, and it's closed down now. And will they ever come back?" And then it's the same old, you know. And I mean, people accuse me of doing the same content with the stories, but some of the guys, they're just filming empty, closed bars and restaurants. You think, you know, how many videos can you make like that? At least your videos are entertaining.
That's why I did the Khao San Road video. There was like a race between vloggers to get the first video of Khao San Road empty at Songkran. Oh, look how dead it is! Look how quiet it is. I thought, well, why didn't you? And most of them videos were completely silent, showing the same stuff. So I thought I'd actually get a whole thing together.
Well, I wouldn't have recommended it if I thought your channel wasn't any good. It's very good. I still recommend you, and I will bring it up again this Saturday's live stream. And to anybody who's watching, Pat does not pay me 1 penny, but he does definitely owe me a couple of beers.
Yeah, I'm skinned. Yeah.
Okay, we'll buy you a couple of beers. All right.
Yeah, thank you.
Take care.
Yeah. All right,
see you again.
Thanks very much.
Bye-bye.
We're going to carry on with the stream, and I hope you'll stay in touch with us, and you know, hopefully we'll meet up and have a few beers when I finally get to Thailand. Yeah.
Definitely.
Okay.
Okay.
All the best.
Thanks.
Thanks a lot, Pat.
Bye.
That was interesting, wasn't it, Simon?
Yeah, no, definitely. So I'm sure he'll have quite a few more people go check him out. So yeah, have a look and yeah.
To be honest with you, I felt a bit sorry for him because sometimes I just go when I don't watch a lot of YouTube now because I'm tied up doing it myself. Sunday I like to not come in here at all, and you know what it's like. It's really difficult to watch lots of YouTube. You find one or two you like, like I used to watch Ed Sweeney on a Wednesday. Stop now. But I felt a bit sorry for him because I came across his channel and I thought, oh, here's another Thailand vlogger. And I watched a few of his videos. I thought these are great. Why hasn't he got any subscribers? And anyway.
Mm-hmm.
There we go.
There's so much choice out there, definitely.
Yeah.
So yeah. So
okay. So 97 the stream. If you've just joined us, good afternoon. That was Bangkok Pat talking about his life and times in Thailand. And I think we're going to carry on now with our regular bits and pieces. And Simon and I have managed to put together another 5 questions. With the last 2 weeks, we did 5 question and answers. That's sort of common questions that Simon gets and common questions that I get. I don't know if we'll be able to do another one because it's I'm kind of running out of these questions now, but I have managed 5, and I think you have as well, haven't you, Simon?
Yeah. Well, the good thing is as well is I know you normally put it up, but if you do have any questions, you can email them in, and we do get people send in some questions. So Peter will put the emails up. It's either Peter at Thailand-Bound or Simon at Thailand-Bound, and send us any questions, and we'll do our best to answer it.
Let me just say. Yeah, that's absolutely. Let me just say hi to a few people who's just joined us. So hi to Robin, the chosen one. Tilt, I've already said hello to. Enjoyed Pat's stories today. Yeah, I mean, if you want to suggest anybody to come up, we're going to try and bring a guest onto the stream most weeks. It won't always be possible to get some people because they won't answer or they're busy or whatever. But I mean, if you're an interesting character as far as you've been to Thailand and you've got something interesting to say, maybe we can bring you onto the screen. Onto the stream rather. We're sort of open to all ideas, but
I could just imagine the sort of things popping up on screen. So yeah, have to make sure you vet first. Yeah, some guy sitting there in his underwear say, "Yeah, I'm ready."
Oh, we had a troll on here earlier. I've just deleted his comment and banned him. Because I'm speaking with you and Pat. Most people they know this situation. I can't get to Thailand. I'm not going to jump through hoops at the moment because I've got no family over there. I don't need to. So I'm stuck in the UK. You guys are out there. And this guy, I forget his name. I don't even want to mention his name, but he left a comment in the chat and he said something in Thailand. I'm not talking shit from England, and I just got rid of it. I mean, waste of time, really, isn't it?
Yeah. Well,
I don't know. Did you see that?
Sorry, I don't know.
Did you miss it?
Yeah. No. I don't know if you can hear it, but there's a huge storm.
You got what
at the moment? A huge storm here at the minute. Thundering and heavy rain.
Can't hear it. It was raining here earlier. Well, if we lose you, we know what's happened. It's the storm. Mr. Superstar, get Trevor's in patter if possible. Yeah, that's a good idea, but it's just the timing. Well, mind you, no, he could do. Yeah, all right. Oh, that's a good idea. Let me write because I've had a few bits and pieces with him. Let me send him a message. I think he's got an email address, because it's 6 o'clock your time, isn't it?
Yeah, no, 7
Someone's
7
asking,
o'clock.
does Simon voice Nat?
No, it's not me, but
answer that one.
Yeah, no, Robin the chosen.
He's a real female. It's a real Thai woman.
I have to squeeze my nuts a bit. I have to squeeze my nuts a little bit hard to get up there. Oh, you're so handsome.
Right, Darren Drew, Ed Sweeney. Handsome man. Ed Sweeney would be good if you could get him. I think Ed's a bit of a private person because I've tried to make contact with him before, and I actually came into his stream and said, "Look, hey, how about we do a stream together, Ed?" And he was kind of like not evasive. He said, "Yeah, I'll certainly think about that," but he's not really forthcoming. I think he's a very private person. I think he'd be a difficult one to get on there. I might send him a message and just say, do you want to come on for 15 minutes? I think if you bring somebody in as a guest, it's a lot different than actually doing a full stream with them. So yeah, okay. I mean, if you can think of anybody else, I don't really want to bring the sort of top vloggers in to the stream. I want to bring in the people, like the Ed Sweeneys and the Trevors and the Bangkok Pats, those sort of people. I think you were going to talk to somebody. Were you, Simon? You were mentioning somebody.
Yeah, well, I mean, it was just
hey there.
Well, no, I'm still there. I'm just talking to you.
I thought you'd fallen asleep. All right.
But yeah, no, I've got a couple of people who have got some quite interesting jobs over here.
Yeah. Okay. So let me try and contact Trevor from Buzzin' Patio, and we'll see if he wants to come in as a guest. Eyes of Owen, I don't know him at all. I've never watched any of his videos, and I don't know who he is. Let me have a think. Let me have a think about that one. I'm sure there's people. I'm sure there's plenty of interesting people we can bring in, but they don't have to necessarily be Thai YouTube vloggers. I mean, if they're, they're interesting, we could,
Yeah, anything that's
okay.
good and interesting.
Right. Do you want to kick us off with the, or do you want me to, or do you want to? So the
get Nat and Dave. Gaz,
yeah. What's
Gaz,
that?
get
Nat and Dave. Yeah, they'd be a bit hard to get hold of, wouldn't they? You'd be cutting them out as the questions are coming in.
I can just have cardboard cutouts. Hi Nat. Hi Dave.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So that Irish Times. I've not watched his videos before, but I did watch the one with Pat yesterday where he was interviewing him, and he might be interesting to talk to. I've seen him on Dave's. They used to do a live stream together. I don't know. They haven't for a few weeks now. I don't know what's going on there. Irish Times, yeah, one Carlos, bring on Irish Times. So the thing is, I don't know any of these people. I don't think Simon does either. We'd have to sort of make contact with them and then, send them a message and say, would you like to come into the stream? And it's got all the timing's got to be right. But I'll make the effort because that was quite good having Pat on here. It just livens things up a little bit, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's it. Cool. Yeah, you might the screen.
I think this. Am I freezing? Because you're freezing as well.
It might be
when
the
I looked
internet.
at you last time, you were just there with your eyes closed.
Might be the internet a little bit because, like I say, there's a big heavy storm at the moment. So in my area, normally the streets flood quite a bit. So they might affect the connection.
Let me say happy birthday to Francesca's son. Hi, Francesca. You're one of the few women who come on our stream. Her son is 3 today. What's his name? We'll give him a shout out.
Hi, Francesca. Okay. Yeah. Happy birthday
to
the
Johnny,
son.
There's something happening. You were going to ask him, weren't you, Simon?
Yeah. I was chat with Johnny, and I've met him a couple of times down in Hua Hin. But yeah.
Yeah, what was that bar we used to go in? I've seen him in there, but I've never actually spoke to him.
That was when a friend of ours, Simon, had the bar down there, which was just down the end of Soy 94.
What was it called?
Cool, hang on. You got me there. I'll come to it. I was then thinking about it. It's like, oh, I know what it is. God, Jesus, what was the name of it now?
Yeah, there's Brian Flowers. I don't actually know him either. I've not actually had any contact with him. Okay, so let's do the question and answer session. We've got 10 questions and answers from viewers. Simon's got 5. I've got 5. We'll do them now as these seem to be popular. And we've only got about 45 minutes left. I'll have to disappear then. And then hopefully we'll get through these. So do you want to kick us off, Simon? Hang on, before we go. Sorry, Simon. Let me just say happy birthday to, how do you pronounce that? Is that Tiberius? That's
Indulge, that's it. Thanks, Steve. It was on the tip of my tongue. Indulge. That was Simon's bar. Oh, yeah. Sorry. And yes, sorry, you were then saying happy birthday.
How do you pronounce it? Francesca's son is 3 today. Do you know
Tiberius, is it? Tiberius?
That's probably better than my one. Tiberius, yeah. So I know he probably won't understand Francesca, but this is recorded. Maybe you can keep it for 5 years. And so happy birthday to Tiberius, and I hope he has a wonderful day. All right. Okay. Onwards and upwards.
Yeah, my first question then. Someone said this. Okay, where is it? Right from the. Is it true foreigners cannot own land but can own a condo? Yes, basically. So if you come here, even if you're married to a Thai, you cannot own any land in your name. There are certain sort of ways to avoid that. If you register a company and then you own that company 49% and then that company buys it, but officially as a non-Thai you can't own land in Thailand. You can own a condo in your name, so you can buy a condo in your name 100% as long as that condo block there's no more than 49% of the condos are owned by expats. So at the end of the day, yes, you can own a condo. You can't really own land. There's a few ways around it, but that's the basic answer. I won't dwell on. I'll be short and sweet today.
Is that it? I actually wondered about. I'd heard that you could own an apartment, but you couldn't own a house on the land. That's what you're saying, isn't it?
Yeah, that's it. You can't own any physical land. You can own a condo, but you can't own land. Yeah.
Right. I think that storm is interfering with your internet a little bit there because I lost you. So ignore the hands up there. Right. Okay. Right. My first one. Peter, why does your channel seem to feature mostly the bar scene and not temples, nature, and animal parks? It's a good question, isn't it? Okay, so what it didn't, to be honest with you, White Bars and the girls and all the rest of it. I've lost somebody there. There we are. You're back. Can you hear me, Simon?
Yeah, you carry on. I mean, it's the rain and the storm at the moment.
Okay, so why do I talk about the bars of girls and the bar scene and everything? So, yeah, the stories get sent to me, and that's what it's about, isn't it? About guys meeting girls. And I tell you what really, it kind of pisses me off a little bit, is when, I mean, I like the bar scene. I'm going to be honest. I don't think I have to hide the fact. I mean, I'm not really one for looking around temples. I'm not really one for, I mean, I've done all the touristy bits years and years and years ago. There's guys, they wouldn't go near a bar. They don't drink. They go camping in the mountains. They do bicycling. They just it's almost like a disease to them to go to a bar area. And, if you don't like it, that's fair enough, but there are guys who, they're not interested in all that stuff. I mean, yeah, Thailand's a beautiful country. It's very cultural. And, you do take an interest in it. But if you're one of those guys, you enjoy going to Pattaya, you enjoy the nightlife, you enjoy hanging out with all the sort of people who are in Pattaya, and it's a blowout. And I don't think you should be ashamed of that. I don't think you should have to hide it. So, I personally, I like hanging out and putting your hair down, done the cultural bit in Thailand. So if you don't like them, if other people do, then that's their choice, surely.
Yeah, no, for sure. I agree with that.
Are you with us?
Yeah. Sorry, the internet connection keeps dropping.
I know. Okay. Somebody called Jesus Christ here. Don't vaccine if you think you can be allowed to travel to Thailand. It won't happen. Okay. Francesca, I'm Thai, so I know the law. Someone arguing with you there. Mm-hmm. What they say.
All right.
Okay. John Lewis, you can own a structural building on the land, also a lease, but not the freehold title. Okay. So, yeah. You've admitted it now, Francesca. I guessed at the beginning. I didn't. I said you've got a Thai second name, and you never did admit it, but okay. I got you there now. Okay. T&J Entertainment, you can own land in your name, but you can own anything you build on the land, so you do have rights. It's quite complicated, isn't it? I think I've always said
that's why. I mean, as a lot of you know this. That's why we, with our container homes, they're quite popular because foreigners can buy the container home, put it on some land, and worst case scenario, they can pick it up and move it. But like you say, yeah, you could own the house on it, but if you can't own the land under it and something happens later, then that's the problem. And I think that happened in Spain, wasn't it? I mean, years and years ago, I remember people were buying the house, but they didn't own the land underneath the house. And it was, obviously they had loads of problems later on. But anyway, I mean, there's lots of people who do buy houses here in their spouse's name or as hold a lease or anything else. And, just depends where you are. You just have to be careful.
I'm sure there'll be people who disagree with me, but I've always said I'd never buy property in Thailand, never, because it's not the easiest thing in the world to sell. If you've changed your mind and get rid of it, you're stuck to one location. You've got the complications of the legal bits and pieces all in Thai. And the thing is, rent is so cheap in Thailand. I mean, look at those, the kind of like one-story houses, two bedrooms in Hua Hin, next to that swimming pool place. They're very nice. You can rent them for 15,000 baht a month a house, so that's like just over 300 pounds a month. That'll come down now, and depending where you live, obviously it's a bit more expensive in Bangkok. I just don't see the point of pouring millions of baht into a property if you retire in Thailand when the rent is so cheap, and you can just, if you might change your mind, you might think, I don't want to live here anymore, I want to go and live down south or up north, and it's so easy. You give them a month's notice and you go. I mean, I understand why you bought your house, Simon, because you've got a family. That's fair enough, but For guys going out there retiring, I just don't get it.
The used house, you know, the property market in Thailand as well. It's not like so much like other countries. I mean, if you buy a property in the heart of Bangkok, or you know, somewhere that's you know, really in demand, then yes, of course, it's a good investment. But you know, if you're buying a house that's outside of Bangkok or somewhere, you know, not central, then it's very hard to sell them again. I mean, on my estate where I am, this house has been sitting here empty since 10, 15 years when they built the Muban, and they've still got the for sale signs on, and no one buys them because, you know,
what is a Muban?
Let's say for the Muban, like the community, you know, the little sort of community housing a project. But you know, the houses back then were costing, say, I don't know, 5 million, 6 million baht, and if you tried to sell it for the same even now, people won't buy them because, you know, they can go to a new development and buy a brand new house better. So to try to sell a second-hand house in Bangkok or not just Bangkok, many places is very difficult. But you know, saying that though, like I said, if you are in the heart, then a little bit different.
So those houses you said were empty 15 years. They built them. They've never sold them. So when they built them at today's rate, what would it have cost to rent one of those average size houses? Not the mansions, just a decent size house with a pool or
a house where I am. You know, like I say, we're in this area. For a 3-4 bedroom house with a garden, you know, that'll cost you 25,000 baht to rent.
That's about £500, isn't it?
Yeah, around that, yeah.
And if you want to see where Simon lives, his community, in the early days, I made a video. It's still up on the channel. It's called something like "Living Out of the Centre of Bangkok." I can't remember the name of it, but
we're in the Bangkok area, so yeah.
Yeah, and I'm standing outside Simon's house. I'm filming. You know, it was a pretty crap video actually. It's one of my early ones, but you do see the house. All right, do you want to jump into your second one, Simon? Because we've got about 40 minutes, and I've got to scoot off at.
Yeah, my second question was just this was from someone who was a victim over here, but his friend. Well, my friend was scammed out of money when he purchased some items here. What should he do? Can he do anything about it? And I mean, this was just something, because I think a lot of people see this on Facebook, and you'll see it online quite a lot. People get scammed out of their money here. They'll buy something, they'll send some money for something, or they'll invest in something and then lose the money, and it's very hard to get that money back again, and you know, very hard to follow it up. But saying that, there's lots of success stories where people have managed to get their money back. So the big thing in Thailand, the most important thing to do here is get a police report. So, you know, whether you lose your driving license, your passport, you get scammed out of money, first thing is to go to a police station and report it, so you get the official report. Once you got that, then you know, you can go to the next step. And then really it's just trying to get the police involved and get them investigating and collecting as much information as you can, social media, that sort of thing. But saying that, you know, very hard to get things done here unless you're prepared to pay. So if I mean, there was something that happened to me many years ago. Some of our staff, they actually disappeared with a load of sound and light equipment, and they loaded up into a truck, took it away, and didn't come back to the company. And we actually pursued them. We got the police involved, and we had to pay. It cost us about 20,000 Thai baht, but we actually got the equipment back. They traced where it went. They got some phone records. They followed it, and we got the equipment back. And I mean, it was a lot. It was, you know, several 100,000 bahts worth of equipment, so it was worth doing. So you know, that's the thing you can do. Get a police report, get as much evidence, go to the police station, and you know, if you can pay some of the private detectives or the police who are working there, some of their colleagues who do private work, it's well worth it if it's a lot of money. But yeah,
it's funny you mentioned and all that. What's that?
I said, yeah, but saying that it is very difficult sometimes. Just to, you know, different areas, different things, and depends on
how you handle it. There's it's really funny you should be talking about this, because that second video that we were talking about earlier, the motorway crash one, you know, the really bad thing that happened to this guy. Like I said, I don't want to give it away, but what I found is lately, it used to be that if you were a foreigner and you went into a court case with a Thai, you'd lose. You just lose. But it seems more and more the courts are being non-biased now. And you'll see what I mean on this video on Tuesday. But I had another video, it's still up on the channel, about a Danish guy had a similar problem with his girlfriend, wife, whatever it is, and she ripped him off. And he actually took it to the court, and he actually won the case. So don't assume if you're not Thai, you're automatically going to lose a court case, because it isn't true anymore. It's not like it used to be. It's getting a lot better.
Yeah. And social media has played a huge part as well, of course, because obviously, it used to be that a lot of things were brushed under the carpet. No one made anything of it. But now with social media, people post things, so sometimes people have to act even though they don't want to. So anyway, but yeah. So that was my second one. Off to you.
Okay. Yeah, well, this will be a quick one. This will be a quick one. This is just a personal one. It says, one of the questions I get asked quite often, it says, what do you miss most about Thailand after not being in the country for 18 months? So obviously I haven't been able to get back for 2 months, and you take everything for granted. You can jump on a plane anytime, and as soon as you've got a little bit of cash and some time off work, you can jump on a plane, you're in Thailand, you got it all again, but you take it for granted. So what do I miss most about Thailand? I think it's the whole atmosphere of, in the UK, it's a different atmosphere. If you don't live in the UK, it's, people worried about their bills and work, and you're just a nobody here. And it's like, it's a grind. It really is a grind in the UK. It's probably the same in any Western country. And when you go to Thailand, one, you're in holiday mode, aren't you? That's all them, the grind, the daily grind, but it's just, you step. Can you still hear me? I'm sure you can.
Yeah.
Yeah, good. So it's a whole scene, isn't it? When you go down to, even if you don't like Pattaya or the heart of Bangkok, some areas, it's just that whole scene. I miss the food, obviously, because I love Thai food. There's certain dishes I really, really miss, and I've tried to make them here, and they just don't come out the same. But it's just that whole buzz about being in Thailand. The weather, the smiling faces. You go into a 7-Eleven and they smile. They actually smile at you. Here you go into a shop and they look at you like not all of them, but I think you know what I'm trying to say. It's just a nicer atmosphere, isn't it? And that's what I really miss about Thailand.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Okay. My third question was, let me have a look. Okay, I'm a shooting instructor and want to open a business there. Can I own a gun? Any advice? I thought that was quite good, because it was actually related. A friend of ours, he's also a shooting instructor, but yeah, as far as I know, if you're an expat in Thailand, you can't have a gun license. You can't own a gun. Thais can. They can get a gun, and obviously they get permits for it. Guns are everywhere in Thailand. Lots of people have them in their cars. I was out actually with a guy the other day. We were just sitting having some beers, and he got his gun. And Thais do carry them around, so a lot of Thais do carry guns. But if you're doing it as a business,
are you talking about the time you can have?
No, this was just when I went to just some locally. We had a little restaurant here, and we were just having some beers there. But no, I mean, so as a business, you can have a business, and then the business can have a gun license. But again, I think starts getting a grey area with expats. But there's some very good gun clubs here, and what a friend of ours done, he teaches some shooting, and you can go to the ranges, and you can use their guns and then carry out your lessons. So I mean, if you're doing clay pigeon shooting, there's some good places to do that here, and a friend of ours, he does clay pigeon shooting and teaches people in Hua Mak. He's a expat come over here and does that. And then another friend of ours, he's in Hua Hin, and I think he's setting up something in the future, but he also does clay pigeon shooting. So yeah, it's hopefully that's answered that a little bit.
Yeah. It's all interesting stuff, isn't it? Because you never stop learning. Like I said to Pat on his video, I didn't know the CIA used to drink around the corner from Soy 22. I mean, that was interesting. So all these little snippets of information, they're all it's all good stuff, as they say. Let me just turn off this. No, I'll leave it running. It's all right, because I don't know if it's your internet or my internet, because I've got 3 things pulling down power here, streaming. But okay, let's carry on, try and plod on. All right, question number 3. Do you get much criticism from people for having a channel about Thailand, but you're in the UK? No, not much. I do get some. In fact, there was a guy I've just blocked today on this chat because he come out with something stupid. But I think most people are sensible. They realize they've seen the videos that I made when I first started the channel. I was in Thailand, and most people realize that we're all in the same boat. Unless you've got a family there and you've got to get back, most people are waiting till it gets back to near normal or whatever normal will be again. So people understand, you know, they know my situation. They know I'm trying to keep the channel going by telling the stories. You know, I brought Simon on board now, who's in Thailand, and he's bringing some interesting stuff to the table, as it were. And we're doing the guest stuff like with Pat today, and we'll maybe try and get hold of Trevor from Buzzing Patio next time. So no, most people are quite understanding, but you get the odd dick. You know, people send me comments like, you know, oh, you've never even been to Thailand, or you know, why don't you give it up? You're so boring because you're just talking about the same stuff all the time. But you've got to kind of see past those kind of people, haven't you? And you know, the guy who left a comment today, I've just blocked him. I didn't just delete him, I've just blocked him because Pat and I and Simon were talking, and he left a comment saying, at least these two guys are in Thailand, not like you talking shit from England. Well, I'm not going to try and defend it because, like I say, most people understand. So no, in answer to your question, I don't get a lot of criticism, but you get the odd dick, and I don't entertain them. I don't name them. I just block them, and that's the end of it.
That's it. You know, there's a choice. They can watch us or watch something else. You know, it's a free world, free choice. Where's my question?
I think some people just like to criticize, Simon, to be honest with
you. Yeah. Oh, there's plenty of them everywhere. Keyboard warriors. Okay, this is a question that actually relates to me a little bit in terms of relocating. So it's just my Thai wife and I have children that were born in the UK, and we plan to relocate back to Thailand with our family. What should I prepare? Is there anything, any pointers? This is actually quite interesting because we relocated, and the big thing we learn is get your documents sorted before you come. So if you're moving here with children, especially if they're half Thai, half English or American or whatever, and you plan to get them Thai nationality in the future, check all the documents, make sure all the spellings are right. Make sure if you've got a middle name, make sure that's on all your documents, because in the UK, if you have a middle name, you don't have to use that on lots of documents. And but then when you got to prove it here, if your passport says, you know, Mr. John whatever, so like me, Simon John, but then your other stuff only has your first and last name, it's a big problem. Yeah. So documents here are crucial. You know, you have to have the spelling correct, no spelling mistakes, even a little apostrophe. Make sure, you know, they're in the right places, because they'll make you redo them, and sometimes it's a nightmare. One of my sons, we didn't have his or what was it? We had his birth certificate, but we didn't have his Thai birth certificate that's issued from the UK. So when we came back here to try to apply for it here, was a nightmare, because they needed you to go back to England, believe it or not, and it was just a big hassle. So try to get their birth certificate in your home country. So if you've got children in the UK, get their Thai birth certificate issued from the Thai embassy in that country first before you come here, and get all their birth certificates, everything else, marriage certificates, all the names checked. And I mean, you actually helped us get some of those the documents redone, because it's a nightmare.
They posted it to my house, didn't they? I was worried it wouldn't get to you. But that's
because
another reason about the ages.
Well, that's it. They have to go backwards and forwards as well, because they also want them notarized. So when you get those original documents, like for example a birth certificate, you then have to send that back to the notarization office, which in the UK is in Milton Keynes and a couple of others. So, you know, there's a lot of backwards and forwards, so it wastes a lot of time.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and that's, you know, that leads straight into another point. Was when I made a couple of budget videos, how much you need to survive in Thailand on a monthly basis, and on one of them I said you need about 35 to 40,000 to pay an agent to get all your visas, your non-immigrant, your retirement visa, everything, because it's so easy. And I got a little bit of flack, people writing back and saying, oh, I do it myself, I got to immigration, I pay, you know, 10 baht or whatever it was. And, you know, but then you're standing in lines, you've got, you know, like you say, if you make a mistake on a form, you've got to start all over again. And life's too short, isn't it? I mean, if you can go and pay an agent 35,000 and forget about it, like I always used to do, you know, if you make a mistake on the form, they're all, for me, it's just a no-brainer. But that, you know, like you say, they're very, very strict on documents.
Yeah. Yeah, no, for sure.
You there?
Yeah, I'm here. So yeah, do you want me to my next question? This is my 5th and final question. You'll be glad to hear.
No,
Huh?
Well, I haven't done mine yet. You're jumping the gun a little bit.
Oh, sorry, it froze. Go on then, carry on.
I haven't done it yet.
All right, you're freezing. That was why.
The internet is becoming a problem. Yeah, we might have to cut it short today because the internet. Have you still got the storm at your end, or? Yeah.
Keep freezing at the moment, so yeah.
Yeah, I think if this carries on, we might have to cut it a bit short today because the storm at your end is really interfering with your internet.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, it's getting worse.
I think we're gonna have to. It's getting worse, isn't it? Okay, guys, look, really sorry about this. We're gonna have to end it now. There's a big storm in Thailand at the moment outside Simon's house, so it's obviously interfering big time with the internet. I hope you can hear this. Are you getting me, Simon? Or
yeah.
Yeah, we keep freezing up and losing each other. So I think we're going to end it there for today. Hopefully, we'll be back next Wednesday. Thanks to everyone. Thanks to Bangkok Pat for joining in the stream today. And that's it, basically. Unfortunately, we're having to cut it short.
Yeah. All right. Take care, guys. Thanks for watching again. See you all again soon.